The Ukraine-Russia war has been ongoing for more than 7 years now, and despite various attempts to bring about peace, the conflict seems to have no end in sight. In this video, we will examine the reasons behind the continuing conflict and explore why it's unlikely to stop anytime soon. The history of the conflict. The roots of the Ukraine-Russia war can be traced back to the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, which led to the ousting of President Viktor Yanukovych. This event sparked tensions between Ukraine and Russia, as Yanukovych was a pro-Russian leader, and Russia felt threatened by his ousting. Russia annexed Crimea, a Ukrainian territory, in March 2014, which led to the escalation of tensions between the two countries. The conflict continues. Since the annexation of Crimea, the conflict has escalated into a full-blown war, with both sides accusing each other of aggression. Russia has been accused of supporting separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine, while Ukraine has been accused of mistreating the Russian-speaking minority in the country. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of thousands of people, and many more have been displaced from their homes. Attempts at peace. Various attempts have been made to bring about peace in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, but all have failed so far. The Minsk agreements, signed in 2015, were aimed at ending the conflict, but they have not been fully implemented. The Normandy format talks, involving Ukraine, Russia, France, and Germany, have also been unsuccessful in bringing about a peaceful resolution. Why the conflict continues. There are several reasons why the Ukraine-Russia conflict continues, and why it's unlikely to stop anytime soon. First, there are deep-rooted historical and cultural differences between Ukraine and Russia, which have contributed to the conflict. Ukraine has long sought to distance itself from Russia and to align itself with Europe, while Russia sees Ukraine as part of its sphere of influence. Second, the conflict has become politicized, with both sides using it to rally support and to legitimize their respective governments. Russia has used the conflict to justify its aggressive foreign policy, while Ukraine has used it to solidify its independence and to seek support from Western countries. Third, the conflict has become entrenched in the identities of both Ukraine and Russia, making it difficult for either side to back down without losing face. For Russia, losing Crimea would be a significant blow to its pride and influence, while for Ukraine, giving up territory to Russia would be seen as a betrayal of its sovereignty. The human toll of the conflict. The Ukraine-Russia war has had a devastating impact on the lives of ordinary people in both countries. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of thousands of people, many of them civilians. The ongoing fighting has also led to the displacement of over 1.6 million people, many of whom are living in dire conditions in refugee camps. The conflict has also taken a toll on the mental health of those living in the affected areas. The constant fear of violence, displacement, and loss of loved ones has led to a rise in anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. The economic impact of the conflict. The Ukraine-Russia war has also had a significant impact on the economies of both countries. The ongoing conflict has led to a sharp decline in trade between Ukraine and Russia, as well as other countries that have imposed sanctions on Russia. The decline in trade has had a ripple effect on the economies of both countries, leading to job losses, reduced investment, and a decline in economic growth. The conflict has also led to a significant increase in military spending for both Ukraine and Russia, diverting resources away from other sectors of the economy. The cost of the conflict has been estimated at tens of billions of dollars, which will have long-term implications for both countries. The role of international actors. The Ukraine-Russia conflict has not only been a regional issue but also a global concern. International actors, such as the United States and the European Union, have played a significant role in the conflict. They have imposed economic sanctions on Russia, provided military and economic aid to Ukraine, and tried to mediate a peaceful resolution to the conflict. However, these efforts have not been successful in bringing about an end to the conflict. The lack of a unified approach among international actors, as well as the deep-rooted historical and cultural differences between Ukraine and Russia, have made it difficult to find a lasting solution. Finally, the Ukraine-Russia war has been ongoing for more than 7 years, and there seems to be no end in sight. The conflict has deep roots in historical and cultural differences, has become politicized, and is entrenched in the identities of both Ukraine and Russia. While various attempts have been made to bring about peace, they have all failed so far. It's unlikely that the conflict will stop anytime soon, and both sides will continue to suffer the consequences of a war that has no clear end in sight.